Good morning, Year 3. It is Miss Wilkinson. It is Wednesday, the 20th of January. And today you are going to use and explore some verbs for effect. Now, over the past couple of weeks, you've been reading James and the Giant Peach, and I've really enjoyed listening to and reading your story openers. We're going to concentrate this week on verbs and adverbs and some vocabulary, and really focus in on James exploring the peach. So verbs are action words. What I want you to do now is I want you to pause and list as many action words, doing words as you possibly can. See how many you can come up with. Okay, I have listed some here for you. We've got beg, if you plead with something, you really, really want something. Curl, I always think of a cat when I think of the word curl. Dust is something you can help around the house with, especially during lockdown. I'm sure mums and dads would love that. Swing, ride, pat, list, lay. There are all sorts of verbs there, and I'm sure you've got a list handy. Keep that list to one side and they will come in handy later on. Okay, I'm going to read out a paragraph to you from James and the Giant Peach. I've highlighted some verbs in this paragraph. We've got the word appeared, spread, scrambling, gaze. I'm going to read it to you and then I want you to act out the parts that you can. The news that a peach almost as big as a house had suddenly appeared in someone's garden spread like wildfire across the countryside. And the next day a stream of people came scrambling up the steep hill to gaze upon this marvel. If you haven't already, I now want you to act up, scrambling up the steep hill and gazing upon the marvel that is the peach, the amazing, astonishing thing that has appeared in the garden. Now, these words, appeared, spread, scrambling, and gaze, were chose to make us feel a certain way. The word appeared makes us feel that the peach has just suddenly came from nowhere. Spread, I can imagine you thinking of spreading butter onto bread. You do it quite quickly and it goes in all directions. Scrambling makes you think of people moving in with urgency and it's some panic. Everyone wants to get there really, really quickly. And to gaze upon something is almost as if your mouth would be dropped open and it's just so fantastic you cannot take your eyes off it. Now in the next one I have changed the verbs again and it will make you think and feel a slightly different way. Right, the verbs I've chosen in this time are crept, moved, tiptoeing and peek. It's exactly the same paragraph apart from those verbs. So listen to this one again, act it out again, and I want you to think about how it makes you feel. The news that a peach almost as big as a house had suddenly crept in someone's garden moved like wildfire across the countryside. And the next day a stream of people came tiptoeing up the steep hill to peek upon its marvel. Now, although this paragraph is giving the same information, these verbs give it a completely different feel. The word crept makes you feel as if they don't want to be caught, or that the peach doesn't want to be seen. It's come there magically, quietly. Tiptoeing again, that the people they're coming up, they're creeping up to the house. They don't want people to know that they're there, and peek, as if they don't want people to see that they're in looking at it. Quite more mysterious, more calm. And I have changed the verbs in the next paragraph again, and it gives you a different feel. See if you can figure out yourself what feel the next paragraph gives just through the verbs. We have boomed, unfurled, darting, gaped. How do those verbs make you feel? Just pause for a second and have a little think how they make you feel. Okay, boomed, unfurled, dart and gape. It's more exciting, it's more urgent, it's more lively. People aren't bothered about being seen, about coming up to this house. They just want to get there, they can't wait. So the news that the peach, almost as big as a house, suddenly boomed into someone's garden, unfurled like wildfire across the countryside. And the next day, a scream of people came darting up the steep hill to gape upon its marvel. Here is another example of a simple sentence that I have changed the verbs in. So this first sentence up here. James walked to look at the peach. Very simple sentence, but you can change the way, the effect it has on the reader just by changing these verbs here. James darted to stare at the peach. Darted makes you think he wants to get there quickly. He can't wait to get there. And stare again. Stare in amazement. Not just looking at it, not just gazing and turning away, staring at it. It's so fantastic. Again, James tiptoed to peek at the peach. Tiptoes makes you feel like doesn't want to be caught. Maybe his aunts are looking at him. And again, peek is something that you would do if quite mysteriously you may not want to be seen. I put on the side here in the dark green are all verbs, synonyms for walked, and here for looked. I want you to come up with now, see if you can come up with 3 sentences just by changing the 2 verbs. That's a very quick task for you before I give you your written ones that will be on Teams. Okay, task 1. On Teams, I have written some paragraphs. You need to identify the verbs in the paragraphs. You can highlight them, you can underline them, you can write them in a text box that I've put underneath, or you can do it on your paper at home. And task 2 is to change the verbs in the paragraph to create a different feeling, just like I did before. I've written on the feeling that I want. It might be a lively feeling, it might be a feeling of anger, it might be a feeling of urgency. So head on over there and have a look. Bye.